Your time is way too valuable to be wasting on people that can't accept who you are. A tiny change today brings a dramatically different tomorrow. If you don't care for obscenity, you don't care for the truth. If you don't care for the truth, watch how you vote. Luck is a matter of preparation meeting opportunity. Being faithful in the smallest things is the way to gain, maintain, and demonstrate the strength needed to accomplish something great. You should never assume. You know what happens when you assume. You make an ass out of you and me because that's how it's spelled. If that's the case, I understand why emotions are hard for you. You've numbed yourself to make room for the grief you carry. The worst part about being lied to is knowing you weren't worth the truth. It takes greater faith to dance in the dark than to rest in light. That which can be destroyed by the truth should be. Comfort is no test of truth. Truth is often far from being comfortable. The passage of time should never extinguish your spark or diminish your dreams. Always remember, you are never too old to shine brightly. Truth has nothing to do with the conclusion, and everything to do with the methodology. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. Adversity discourages losers. Adversity inspires winners. The way to make your dreams come true is to start believing in them. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. There can be glory in failure and despair in success. I wouldn't have missed a single minute of it, not for the whole world. Not every instance requires a response. Truth resides silently in the seat of power. When you choose one way out of many, all the ways you don't take are snuffed out like candles, as if they'd never existed. Look for the good in every person, in every situation. You'll almost always find it. Earth's crammed with heaven, but only he who sees takes off his shoes. Accidents happen. Our bones shatter, our skin splits, our hearts break. We burn, we drown, we stay alive. You are, after all, what you think. Your emotions are the slaves to your thoughts, and you are the slave to your emotions. Where there are bees, there are flowers, and wherever there are flowers, there is new life and hope. I think of life as a good book. The further you get into it, the more it begins to make sense. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. This life is not a movie, and sometimes I forget that. It's amazing how quickly nature consumes human places after we turn our backs on them. Life is a hungry thing. Every existing thing is born without reason, prolongs itself out of weakness, and dies by chance. I like people who refuse to speak until they are ready to speak. So you never know who you touch. You never know how or when you'll have an impact, or how important your example can be to someone else. The progression of time is inevitable, nor can we control it, but we can control what we do within the time available to us. It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. Better the comfort of a lie than the absurdity of the truth. Beware of those who are bitter, for they will never allow you to enjoy your fruit. Success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time. We all have two lives. The second one starts when we realize that we only have one. Everything you do is triggered by an emotion of either desire or fear. The piano keys are black and white, but they sound like a million colors in your mind. But in the end, it's only a passing thing. The shadow, even darkness, must pass. Quietly endure, silently suffer, and patiently wait. A person can go along quite a while if they get a good day every once and again. Risks must be taken because the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing. Change is not always growth, but growth is often rooted in change. Dries Duerden. Despite its dark veins, the transparency of dragonflies' wings assures me of a pure, innocent world. You only struggle because you're ready to grow but aren't willing to let go. If you spend your life sparing people's feelings and feeding their vanity, you get so you can't distinguish what should be respected in them. Run when you can, walk if you have to, crawl if you must, just never give up. Solitary trees, if they grow at all, grow strong. Taking on too much of other people's drama is just a poor excuse for not taking ownership and control over your own life. It's not about whether or not someone is a bigot, but whether or not the argument which that someone is arguing is worth being a bigot about. Never underestimate yourself when you do what is right. Never overestimate yourself when you do what is wrong. Whether we like it or not, the one justification for the existence of all religions is death. They need death as much as we need bread to eat. The only part of you that hurts when you're given the truth is the part that lives on lies. I never dreamed about success. I worked for it. There's nothing you can't do if you want it bad enough. Truth only exists for those who cling to it. So Suke Eisen. You'll never find a rainbow if you're looking down. Realize deeply that the present moment is all you will ever have. Don't be afraid of failure. This is the way to succeed. It is not hard to walk without looking. It is hard to walk without seeing. The desire to die was my one and only concern. To it I have sacrificed everything, even death. Speak to me. I will spend my lifetime trying to understand you. My life has been one great big joke, a dance that's walked, a song that spoke. I laugh so hard I almost choke when I think about myself. No matter what you're going through, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Be the kind of person who catches the shit before it hits the fan, not the one who scrapes it off afterwards. Oh, what a tangled web we weaved out when first we practiced to deceive. There's no point in wishing. We can't change anything about the past. We can only remember. We can only move forward. I think that you've got to make something that pleases you and hope that other people feel the same way. To be haunted is to glimpse a truth that might best be hidden. Time has always been the greatest ally to truth, because time eventually relieves and reveals all. If you always want the validation of others, you won't grow beyond people's expectations. Don't degrade people because of their current situation in life. The tide might change, and you may find yourself in the same position. Sometimes it takes years for a person to become an overnight success. Sometimes it takes a good fall to really know where you stand. Fault always lies in the same place, with him weak enough to lay blame. Life consists of what man is thinking about all day. We can never judge the lives of others, because each person knows only their own pain and renunciation. Enjoy the little things, for one day you may look back and realize they were the big things. Now I know what success is: living your truth, sharing it. Time is a great teacher, but unfortunately it kills all its students. Letter, November 1856. Don't reject something just because it seems strange. It's comfort that will kill you in the end. Tell them a lie big enough, they'll worship you as a sage. Tell them a truth big enough, and they'll mock you. Don't be afraid of what lies in the darkness, because sometimes the things hidden in the dark are our greatest allies. The difference between greed and ambition is a greedy person desires things he isn't prepared to work for. Our lives were just beginning. Our favorite moment was right now. Our favorite songs were unwritten. A kind thought, word, or action creates infinite ripples of caring, consideration, and peace. A man with outward courage dares to die. A man with inner courage dares to live. Never again will I underestimate the greatness inside of me just because of the hate and limited thinking inside of others. Maybe the truth is I really want to like you instead. The best index to a person's character is how he treats people who can't do him any good, and how he treats people who can't fight back. When terrible things have happened to you, sometimes the promise of something good can be just as frightening. When I was about 8, I decided that the most wonderful thing, next to a human being, was a book. Finding one important thing in your life doesn't mean you have to give up all the other important things. A gentleman is someone who does not what he wants to do, but what he should do. Stop thinking of yourself as a victim. You were a target that is now no longer being hit. We could only choose which path to take to our destination. What happened along the way was entirely up to chance. If you've never eaten while crying, you don't know what life tastes like.